Welcome back to the Countdown. We are now going to try to examine the mind of a suspected mass killer. Last week, a Washington state court unsealed search warrant documents used to retrieve evidence from the home and office of Brian Kohberger. He's the 28-year-old suspect accused of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students in November. The items retrieved from his home included a pillow with a reddish-brown stain, a nitrate-type black glove, store receipts, and a Dickies tag. Kohberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder for which he could face the death penalty if convicted. But does he have a shot at pleading insanity? Investigative reporter Kristen Thorne sat down with forensic psychiatrist Carole Lieberman to try and get inside the mind of the suspect, who some experts, including Lieberman, have suggested was part of the so-called incel movement.
In your medical opinion, is he mentally insane? Is that something that would hold up in court?
Well, Idaho doesn't have the not guilty by reason of insanity plea, but even if they did, if I were his expert witness, I would never, be his defense expert witness, because it's so clear to me that he is guilty. I know you're not innocent until proven guilty and so on. But I couldn't in good conscience represent him. There are other psychiatric diagnoses that one could find for him. For example, when he was a teenager, he was writing posts online talking about how he had visual snow, which is a disorder not well understood, but a disorder where people see like what the old television sets were like when you'd have static on the old television sets. And of course, that in itself could drive one crazy, seeing that as, frequently. But he also talked about being suicidal. He talked about anxiety and depression and all kinds of different psychological issues. However, to be not guilty by reason of insanity, you have to, at the time of the crime, not be able to understand the nature of the crime and not know that it's wrong. So I don't think he would meet those criteria, even if they did have that kind of defense.
What brings someone, look, it's not uncommon in the course of growing up that you're rejected by people that you like. This is something we all go through. Mm-hmm. What brings someone to this point, allegedly?
Yes, a lot of people get rejected, women and men, as they're growing up. Absolutely. And it does leave scars, actually, on people, but not everybody, thank goodness, goes out and shoots people because they're so angry. They're filled with rage. I mean, that was part of the issue with the crime scene, that how bloody it was showed that the perpetrator, the killer, had to have been someone with a huge amount of rage. And incels that have developed this huge amount of rage, are the ones who go on to be killers. Now, sometimes this rage is increased because there are these chat rooms and so on, these places on the internet where incels can go and talk with other incels, and they fuel each other, they egg each other on, with how unfair this is, and we are entitled to have relationships and sex just like everybody else, and so it builds up the rage. Also, of course, it depends upon what is the underlying psychiatric problem or problems that then pushes them over the edge.